Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. This is Maria with Simplified Partners, and in this week's video we're going to be talking about something that I bet you're really interested in hearing about, or something that you think about a lot, and that is your cash flow. As a small business owner, there's nothing really more important than what I call the health of your cash flow. But how well are you managing your cash flow, and how many times do you have those scary moments where you're not sure if you're going to be able to cover all the bills and the payroll and everything else, and you're looking for that customer to pay that invoice, right, so that you can pay these bills. So what we're going to talk about in this video are 3 reasons why accurate banking is necessary in order for you to either maintain a positive cash flow or get to a positive, healthier cash flow position. Okay, so I'm going to break down these 3 reasons. Right before we dive in, I want to mention one thing. I have a cool new freebie that I have linked in the description below, and it's called my T&C method. This is a method I recently put together because I have found that there's a lot of businesses out there that are always caught by surprise when they have expenses hit their credit cards or their bank accounts. And they hate to admit it, but they find that this happens month after month after month. Maybe it's subscriptions or other things that are just really kind of a pain in the butt kind of things that we don't know we're going to be charged for. So I built a really simple method to help you, and I've even given you a template that you can download in this freebie and start using today so that you stop paying for things that you do not need. So get the free thing, and if you just go through the steps, you're going to be starting to save money today. So definitely check that out. All right, let's dive into the 3 reasons why accurate banking is necessary in order for you to maintain or get to a positive cash flow. So let me tell you, what do I even mean, accurate banking? What in the world does that mean, Maria? Like, I have a bank account. What does it mean to have accurate banking? What I mean is accurate banking means accurately using your accounting software, whatever that is, Xero, QuickBooks Online, FreshBooks, whatever you're using. It's important for you to have accurate bank balances in your accounting software on a regular basis. Because here's the thing, too many small business owners are not logging into their accounting software to look at what their bank statement of what their bank balances are. They're logging into the bank, and that you can't, it's not necessarily wrong, but the problem is that you want to use your accounting software because it has a lot more information. The problem is either you don't have accounting software or it's woefully incorrect, right? It's behind, bad, or the person working on it doesn't know what they're doing, etc. It happens. It's very common. Don't feel bad. That's what we do, is we kind of go in and we clean up messes that have been left by others. But anyway, one of the things that you want to do on a regular basis is you want to go and just do the basic, what I would call the banking cleanup. So what that is just going into your accounting software. Let's say that you have a bank account, it's connected to QuickBooks, and you see there's 25 transactions that have come in from yesterday. And so you're just going in and you're categorizing all of that. You're saying, okay, this is a $10 Chipotle expense, which I guess you can't get Chipotle for $10, but you know what I mean. $20 for Chipotle. We had an invoice that was paid, so we have money coming in. That's a deposit, and we match it to the invoice. We have a utility bill that came in. We paid a contractor bill. All of that stuff, you're going in and categorizing where it goes. And so what's really beautiful about accounting software is that it usually is going to show you 2 balances. It's going to show you the balance that's in the accounting software and also the balance that's in the bank account. It reflects that. If you have, I'm assuming you have your bank connected to your accounting software, okay? So when that's happened, it's beautiful because you can look in and see, okay, yes, I have $25,000 in my bank balance, I have $25,000 in my QuickBooks balance, I'm good to go. And so what you want to do is either yourself or whoever's in charge of this, that is critical. Too many clients have accounting files where it'll say your bank balance is $10,000, but your QuickBooks balance is $30,000. Well, what in the world is going on there? Well, the reason is because, well, there's many reasons, but what's happening in the accounting software is you have a bunch of stuff in there that doesn't need to be in there. And then Of course, at the end of the month, you want to reconcile that so that you don't have that, but that's another thing. What you want to do is focus on making sure that you're doing the basic categorizations for all accounts that have cash in them. And you definitely want to do this for credit cards as well, but as you know, credit cards work a bit differently, but especially for your bank account, so that you know day after day after day where you stand cash flow wise. Super important to know that. If there's one thing I would say that you want to do on a daily basis, it's going to help just make sure that you're staying in the forefront. Remember, cash is king, guys. Is you want to log into your accounting software every day. You want to look at those balances every single day. And you also want to look at the balances for those credit cards. If you're using credit cards to pay for business expenses, if your team has credit cards, because more times than not, business owners will find that they can't use their card one day. And the reason they can't use the card is they've hit the balance limit and they had no idea. And so making sure that those balances are seen will give you a little bit more of a sense of control, and you at least know where you are cash flow wise. So let's move on to reason number 2. Reason number 2 is, I'm going to explain this, it's kind of a long sentence, but inconsistency in reviewing your bank transactions leads to a loss of runway. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So we talked about these banking transactions, right? So if you're not reviewing them, or if someone isn't reviewing them on a regular basis, or they're doing it inconsistently, what happens is, because you're not paying attention, essentially, all this stuff starts getting paid out that you had no idea was even going to get charged, right? Like, so what I mentioned before, the TNC method, that's really where I came up with this method. Is I had a lot of clients that were like, we don't know we're paying for that. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. And now it's a big app and I can't get a refund for that because it was an annual subscription and I didn't know, and on and on. So that's what I'm saying when I say you don't have a runway. When you're not consistently reviewing your banking area and you're not reviewing the transactions that are going on, you don't have any runway to be able to plan. So imagine that you're at an airport. Imagine that you're sitting in a plane on a runway. You sitting in this plane is like your cash balance right now. Okay, so think about that. Like, this is my cash balance. I'm here in the plane. My cash balance today is $25,000. Now I want you to look out the window, the front of where the pilot and the first officer sit in the plane. And I want you to look and imagine that you're looking at that runway right now. That runway for you financially is super important, because you want to know that runway is the next 15 days, the next 30 days, the next 60 days, the next 90 days. And so the more that you know what is coming at you in the next 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, etc., the better you can plan for that cash. And here's a pro tip. I'm going to throw this in here. Pro tip is, if you only have one business bank account, please open another one. Please open it. I love Relay Bank. I will put their link below here in the description of this video. Open another bank account. Relay is awesome because it's online and you can just literally open a bank account in 5 minutes. But what you want to do is think about the runway again. Let's say that you have this big amount of money in your business bank account, and it's really more than you need in there to pay the bills for the next 2 weeks. Move that money out of there. You don't want to have a big balance in your main business account, because it's going to get used and it's just going to, you know how money just disappears, right? Just like, it's like little bugs or whatever, they just scatter. So what you want to do is open a second account, and you don't have to have a particular function or even purpose for that money right now. You just set it over here. Maybe you say it's for upcoming taxes, but just set it over there. Don't leave it all in this amount, in this main account, okay? So that's what I mean, is if you're not consistent with your banking, your categorizing of your transactions, then it doesn't give you that runway. Instead of you planning for the future, right, and going down the runway, you're kind of stammering around trying to figure out why you were charged for this, and oh my gosh, I don't have any money. And that's a terrible place to be, right, as a business owner. Moving on to number 3. It dovetails right with what we're talking about with this runway, is improper or non-existent budgeting. Yes, I said the word. Improper or inconsistent budgeting doesn't give you any peace of mind, right? It doesn't give you any peace of mind at all. It's very similar to this runway. So If you're like, Maria, I am not about to sit down, I don't have time to make a budget. Well, this is what I want you to do. Do you have 15 minutes? I hope so, because you're watching this video, so you've got time. Will you log in, like while I'm talking, log into your bank account and log into your credit card? All I want you to do is download the last 30 days. So today's the 18th. I want you to go back either to the 18th of the prior month or even better to the 1st of that previous month. And I want you to download a CSV file or an Excel file of all the transactions, every single one of them, okay? You're going to do that for the credit card accounts, and you're going to do that for the bank accounts. And then what you're going to do is you're literally going to print these out. I know. I love tech. But I want you to get this done, right, in the next 10 or 15 minutes. So you're going to print all this off, and you're just going to get yourself some old school highlighters. And you're going to go through that list, and you're going to put green about things that I'm good with it. Like, yes, that customer made that deposit. I'm good with it. I want them to keep making deposits. If you have an expense, if you have payroll, and that person, you're planning on that person coming back and working, you're going to green that, right? That's an expense that you are saying, yes, I'm in control of this, and I am going to be paying this out in the following months. What you're doing with the green is you're building your budget. That's all you're doing. Is all those green things, you're going to total up two things. You're going to total up all the green deposits or the revenue that came in, or for your credit card, all the credit card payments you made. That's the plus side of the equation. And then you're going to add up all the money that you spent that's green, okay? So let's say for a very small business, let's say you did $50,000 in revenue and you had $35,000 in all of your green expenses. So you know that you have about $15,000, right, that you're going to have in profit. So again, that's for the green things. Then I want you to go through, and anything that you're not sure if you want to use or not, do yellow. And then anything that you're just flat out mad that you paid for, and listen, that can be a contractor that's not doing a good job. That could be a subscription that you are not using. That could be something you don't even know what it is. You want to put that in pink or red or whatever, so you can take action on that, okay? So that's what you're doing here in this exercise, is in like 15 minutes, you're going to build a basic budget with all of your green stuff, and maybe you want to put some yellow stuff in there as well that you want to go ahead and pay for this next month or this next time. And then in red, you're going to stop that. You're going to have that conversation with the contractor, or you're going to have, go log in that subscription or whatever you have to do. But don't make this something that you do, seriously. A lack of budgeting, I don't think I've had very many clients that budget, and it's unfortunate. And it doesn't have to be a fancy app. What I find is the fancier that we make it, right, the less likely we are to do it. And there's a lot of awesome technology out there, guys. I could do a whole video on telling you about budgeting apps. But what I found works best for me and my firm, like what I personally do, and what helps for my clients if they'll do it, is to just do it on paper and print that stuff out and get a really good straw man idea of what this looks like. And really through the exercise, it does more than just give you a number, right? It forces you to slow down and think about, what is my revenue going to be next month? What was it last month? If you're a project-based business, do you have all those same customers coming back month after month after month? Or maybe do you have to pick up on your sales efforts because you see that maybe the next month your revenue is going to be low? So that's what I mean by that runway, is build your budget. Give yourself the longest runway that you possibly can. That, my friends, is going to help you so much to have a healthier cash flow position, because you are now in control of your cash, right? So of all the things, as we've talked about in other videos as well, of all the things that's important in business finance, your cash flow is most important. And don't forget this. One thing, this is another bonus tip, one thing that can help you if you see that your cash flow is really low, or that you're having a struggle just paying your bills, a lot of times it's going to be further up in the operations of your business. So as you're doing that budget with your green highlighter, really be strict with yourself. Only put a green if you're not only your okay with that expense or that income, you're going to be okay with the income, but with those expenses. But if you have any doubts, or you're maybe not getting the performance that you're looking for, or you're not getting the performance that you're looking for out of that person or that application or whatever it is, put yellow on that and tell yourself you're going to take action on this. The budgeting process, like I said before, helps you to have more control and helps you to have that runway so that you can better plan. So last thing, I'm going to remind you of that T&C at the very bottom. You want to track that, or track it. That's T is actually for tracking, but you're going to want to click on that link, grab that spreadsheet. Yes, it's a spreadsheet. So you're going to print this from this video. You're going to get the spreadsheet, and I'm going to help you better track so that you can, again, have a better runway as to what you're going to be spending. And so this tracker helps you to, again, it's just another tool I'm giving you for free to help you manage your cash flow and manage your business finances even better. So I would love to hear your comments. I would love to hear, would you like to have more videos on this channel about cash flow? And if so, I would love to know what your questions are. What are you struggling with your cash flow? Maybe you're not sure if you should keep using credit cards for business expenses, or the best ways to use credit cards for business expenses. I've got lots of ideas if that's interesting to you. So I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your comments on what you're looking for, what you'd love to see more of on this channel, and I will see you next week.